What if the world was safe? What if next time aliens roll up to the club, and they will, they couldn't get past the bouncer?
Welcome back to Screen Crush. I'm Ryan Airy. The Illuminati. They are a shadowy group of heroes working in secret, operating in the gray, making morally questionable decisions that save the world and the universe. And no, we're not talking about the real-life Illuminati, the shadowy cabal of Wall Street, Freemasons, and movie critics.
Illuminati.
We're talking about the Marvel Illuminati. Thanos has been defeated, the Infinity Stones are gone, yet the universe is in far worse danger than ever before. KANG will start a multiversal war and all of reality will collapse. Galactus is bound to threaten Earth sooner or later, and who knows what the Celestials are up to.
You're always with the drama, you.
But there are dangers far closer to home, like the Scarlet Witch and the ever-growing threat of superhumans who have too much power and no supervision. This is why the Illuminati are needed to step up and make the tough calls to protect the world. Let's talk about how the Illuminati will be formed, who's going to be part of the group, how the team ties into Secret Wars, and how it could lead to a second Civil War. And how it all connects to the best Marvel villain of all time, Dr. Victor Von Doom.
That what we needed was a pseudo-armor around the world. Remember that? Whether it impacted our precious freedoms or not. That's what we needed.
The Illuminati is an alliance between leaders of superhero teams who work together in secret, sharing information and creating contingency plans to prevent terrible things from happening. They target both bad guys and other heroes who might be a danger to the world, like the time they banished Hulk into space. Their actions tend to raise some moral questions, and many times their decisions have backfired on them quite spectacularly. But that's the comics. Let's focus on how the Illuminati will work in the MCU.
What if I told you we were putting a team together?
Go yourself.
So in the books, the lineup of the Illuminati includes Iron Man, Black Panther, Doctor Strange, Mr. Fantastic, Professor X, Namor, and Black Bolt. Out of all these heroes, Doctor Strange is the only member that's in the MCU right now. Iron Man's dead, Black Bolt may as well be, and we all know why Black Panther won't be part of the team. But Mr. Fantastic, Namor, and Professor X will be introduced in the next few years, so I'm sure they will be part of the Illuminati. Endgame sort of suggested that Black Widow had already established the Illuminati, but I'm pretty sure that it was just the Avengers, since those heroes were the only ones left after the snap. Tony's vision has always been global safety. That's why he created Ultron. Even after his death, he has a contingency plan in the form of Edith.
Edith stands for Even Dead, I'm the Hero. Tony loved his acronyms.
Things ended up backfiring, but hey, third time's the charm. Maybe before his death, Tony put plans into motion to form the Illuminati. This makes sense, with Iron Man finally finding a way to achieve his vision for a safer world.
Peace in our time.
Steven is the most likely hero to form the Illuminati. He's capable and has proven that he will do what must be done to protect reality.
If it comes to saving you, or the kid, or the time stone, I will not hesitate to let either of you die, because the universe depends on it.
Although right now I have a hard time trusting Strange's judgment after No Way Home's trailer.
Don't cast that spell. It's too dangerous.
Fine. I won't.
Hopefully there's more to it than it seems. I bet the events of No Way Home and Multiverse of Madness will serve as the main reason why the Illuminati are needed. Plus, maybe when Steven got a preview of the future, he saw something that will further push him to establish the Illuminati. Mr. Fantastic, Professor X, and Namor should all be part of the group, just like in the comics. They all bring their own unique individual perspectives and add nuance to the team. With the upcoming Eternals, I can definitely see one of them join the Illuminati. Maybe it'll be Icarus, kind of serving as a replacement for Black Bolt. When you live for thousands of years, you see a lot, and you want to take action. But based on what we know, the Eternals were not allowed to interfere in human affairs. So now that the Eternals are coming out of the shadows, Icarus will choose to play a more active role in the world.
Who do you think's gonna lead the Avengers?
I could lead them.
Since Icarus and the other Eternals had to work from the shadows for all of these years, they'll fit perfectly into the Illuminati's secretive operations. White Vision is also a good option. Based on the whole Theseus ship conversation, I think that White Vision got all of his memories back. Vision has shown us in the past that he shares the Illuminati's cold logic.
Oversight is not an idea that can be dismissed out of hand.
So he will be an asset for the team, both because of his abilities and his philosophy. Vision sort of represents the dark side of the Avengers' failures. He was created by Ultron, who himself was built by Stark. Then he was rebuilt by Sword to kill Wanda, but was reborn thanks to Vision Wanda with her reality-bending magic. He's a being of contradictions, sort of mirroring the contradictions of the Avengers.
Wow, Dr. Phil, that's deep. Let's think about that.
Someone from Wakanda must be part of the team, especially since it's very easy for the Illuminati to consider that nation as a possible threat to the world, with its advanced technology, armies, and weapons. Honestly, I can't see Shuri being part of the Illuminati. Same goes for Okoye, she's too loyal to the throne.
I am loyal to the throne, no matter who sits upon it.
But Nakia joining the group makes total sense. She has proven that she's willing to make the hard calls. Nakia supported the idea that Wakanda needs to do more for the world, and this perspective makes her integral to the Illuminati.
Wakanda is strong enough to help others and protect ourselves at the same time.
I can also see Captain Marvel being part of the team if the MCU adapts her personality from the comics. So far, Carol Danvers appears to be a genuinely good person, but who knows how 30 years protecting the universe changed her since the 1990s. But in the comics, she can be very pragmatic at times, especially during the events of Civil War II. And Carol just joined the MCU and her character will evolve in the next few years. So maybe, as events unfold, there's going to be something that will cause her to shift her ideals and join the Illuminati. Being a cosmic protector sure puts things in perspective, so I think it'll make sense if Carol agrees with the logic in the Illuminati's ways.
Where are you going?
To kill Thanos.
Also, Hank Pym is another great addition to the Illuminati. What If finally showed us the dark side of Pym. And if we see more of Hank's traits from the comics in the future, that fits exactly into the Illuminati's gray area morality. The quantum realm has been playing a huge role in the MCU, and it might tie into KANG and the Multiversal War. The quantum realm simply cannot fall into the wrong hands.
This is not some cute technology like the Iron Man suit. This could change the texture of reality.
Since Hank is the one who discovered the realm, he will likely work with the Illuminati to enforce the usage of the realm. And thanks to Pym, we might see the Big House from the comics, which is a supermax prison shrunken with Pym particles.
Honey, I shrunk the kids.
And then there's Zemo.
What?
I mean, it seems to be unlikely. There's no way heroes will work with Zemo, right? But as we established in our Zemo is Right video, he might be exactly the person the Illuminati needs.
Desire to become a superhuman cannot be separated from supremacist ideals.
Sam and Bucky decided to work with Zemo despite everything he had done, understanding that he is a necessary evil. And Strange might come to the same conclusion. Zemo is the opposite of the Avengers. He's a pragmatist. He does things mortal heroes can never do. While some of these actions are despicable crimes, he was using threat prevention when he went after the super soldiers. It'll be a complicated alliance, but in the end, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. There's another villain who I think could join the Illuminati, and that's Doctor Doom, but I'll leave that for later because it's tied into something else I want to talk about. So that's who could be a part of the group, but what's more important is the reason why we need the Illuminati in the MCU. There are two main reasons: external threats and, more importantly, internal threats. The dangers to Earth and the rest of the universe keep escalating. We know Galactus is coming, but more importantly, the whole universe is in peril because of KANG. That's why we have the Avengers. They save the world and the universe. But one thing Thanos proved is that the Avengers are a reactionary force. They save the day after the fact, sometimes when it's too late.
But that's what we do, right? Our best work after the fact. What are the Avengers? We're the Avengers, not the pre-Vengers. Okay.
What if the Avengers went after Thanos sooner? Oh, hey, never mind, Marvel. We already did that ourselves, so check out that video.
Do it.
And this should be the Illuminati's role. Identify threats early, manage them, and find ways to prevent them. Make sure that the next Thanos will be stopped before he's able to threaten the universe. That's what Tony attempted to do with Ultron. It mostly blew up in his face and almost blew up the whole planet, but at least he tried. And all his friends did was criticize him for it.
Every time someone tries to win a war before it starts, innocent people die.
I guess trying to prevent a bad thing before it happens isn't very heroic. This is why the Illuminati are needed. They can operate in the shadows, not seeking approval from the goody two-shoes heroes who hold the morality so tight that it becomes a weakness.
She's not a U.S. citizen and they don't grant visas to weapons of mass destruction.
She's a kid.
Give me a break!
She's just a kid. You're seeing something in her that isn't there. She will not stop. She will escalate.
Speaking of, the Illuminati's second role should be to secretly enforce other superheroes. The Avengers dealt with external threats pretty well for the most part, but they tend to turn a blind eye to the threats from within. There weren't many, if any, contingency plans in case Hulk goes on a rampage. Yeah, Tony and Bruce created Veronica, but that worked for like 5 seconds.
Don't hate, I helped design Veronica.
As a worst case measure.
But once again, Tony tried to do something about a possible threat. What to Cap do? Well, his philosophy is that they will deal with threats once they cross that bridge, which can be seen as a little arrogant.
I don't care if it's mean.
Yes, Banner's their friend, but he's also a big rage monster who's capable of killing all of them. You know the saying, hope for the best, but plan for the worst. Might be a cynical worldview, but when dealing with such powerful threats, you can't rely on optimism all of the time, as proven by Wanda. Everyone knew she was a little unstable after Vision died, so it shouldn't have been a surprise when she mind-controlled an entire town and turned them into a Nick at Night marathon. The Westview incident could have been prevented if any of the Avengers kept an eye on Wanda, making sure she didn't lose control. This makes the Avengers extremely irresponsible. Not to mention that not a single Avenger arrived to stop Wanda when things got out of hand.
It's almost like the studio couldn't afford another X-Man.
And the only sorcerer that showed up was this guy. Isn't it time to put a system in place that will enforce the Avengers from themselves? This is something we spoke about extensively in our Zemo is Right video, where we posed the question, who protects the world from the people who protect the world? The main takeaway from that video is that threat prevention isn't just needed, it's mandatory for the safety of the world. The Illuminati must come up with contingency plans in case more super people go rogue and lose control, as well as form plans to stop the bad guys who threaten all of reality.
I've carefully studied every Justice Leaguer, past and present, and created contingency plans to neutralize you, should that ever become necessary.
None of us would ever do that to you.
Then you're damn fools.
Other heroes will eventually learn about the Illuminati's deterministic approach, and that will surely lead to a clash of ideals between multiple factions, especially when the Illuminati's contingency plans are revealed. It's a fascinating philosophical dilemma. What's more important, safety or freedom?
It's all just a means to an end, Raven.
What end is that?
Keeping us safe.
Shouldn't the Avengers use every tool available to them so they can protect the world more efficiently, even if it means compromising their own morality? Or should the Avengers stay a reactionary force, acting only when they're needed? Because the Illuminati's way creates a very fine line between heroism and totalitarianism. This could be a great way to do Civil War II.
If you think I'm evil, just wait till you meet my variants.
There's always the looming threat of KANG. The multiverse is going to collapse. That's our new endgame. That's Secret Wars, and the Illuminati fit into this perfectly, as well as one perfect villain, and that's Doctor Doom. I think Doctor Doom should be part of the Illuminati.
But why?
It's a change from the comics, yes, but it has great story potential. First, Doctor Doom is my personal favorite villain of all time, and I really want to see him done right in the MCU. But Doom also ties into Secret Wars, and we have an idea of how that can work. What's so interesting about Doom is that he genuinely believes that the world would be a better place under his rule. Also, Doom is one step ahead of everyone, and I can see him being aware of the multiverse situation. So by the time Strange recruits him, Doom already started working on his own countermeasures to save the universe. In fact, maybe that's the reason why Strange recruits him.
And the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Also, I think it'll be interesting if at first Doom wouldn't be the bad guy, but more of an anti-hero, and we'll witness his transformation from an ally to the heroes to their biggest enemy over time. Now that could actually be very interesting to watch, almost like a reverse Loki arc.
But no one bad is ever truly bad, and no one good is ever truly good.
So at first, Doom's motivations will align with the Illuminati, and they will all work for a common goal, save the universe. In the comics, the Illuminati learned about the multiverse collapse, and they were forced to make some tough calls. To save their universe, they had to destroy others. So maybe something like that will happen in the MCU, and it will be the turning point for the Illuminati. While they are all willing to do some morally questionable things, destroying whole universes and killing trillions of beings is crossing the line. So the Illuminati will try and find a more heroic way to prevent the collapse of the multiverse, which will signal the end of the group. But this would be the start of Doctor Doom's turn to evil. The Illuminati's reluctance will be the sign for Doom that the other heroes are too weak to do what must be done. Doctor Doom will devote himself to saving the universe at any cost, and this will pit him against the Avengers, both sides working to prevent the end of reality. All of it can be ironic in the end because the fighting between the Avengers and Doom will distract them from focusing on KANG and the multiversal war. So by the time it happens, it'll be too late for everyone.
Fighting to preserve their universe and annihilate the others.
And then, I hope things will play out as they did in the comics. The multiverse collapses, everything is about to end, but in the final moments, Doctor Doom obtains godly powers that allow him to save reality and create Battleworld. Now, we'll probably do a separate video on Secret Wars and Battleworld in the near future, so I won't go into it right now. But if the MCU goes with the direction that we just proposed, the payoff could be so much more satisfying and give us an amazing conclusion for the next MCU saga, and also establish Doctor Doom as an incredible villain for the next few years.
I agree.
But what do you think about all this? Will Marvel introduce the Illuminati? Who should be part of the group? And do you want us to do a video covering Secret Wars and how it will work in the MCU? Let me know in the comments below or at me on Twitter. And if it's your first time here, please subscribe. For Screen Crush, I'm Ryan Airy.